welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, even though I don't sound like it right now.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I've got a little sultry hoarseness going on right now. But with me today is Court Winsett.
Hello.
And Cameron Spann.
Good day.
You know what episode number this is?
It's a big one.
250.
250.
Wow.
That's almost as much as I weigh.
Okay, just put yourself out there like that. Whatever.
I want to say it feels like just yesterday we recorded episode 1, but that would be a lie.
No, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
I'm shocked we're at 250. It's changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a couple episodes and then we won't record for a couple weeks. And then, you know, sometimes it's like we got to get a recording in every week. So it's changed a lot. We've changed a lot. There's been a lot of episodes where I've sounded like this. There's been episodes when y'all sounded like crap.
That's right. We've been through the ringer. And it has changed. I mean, when we started, it was join Court and Katie as they're learning the ropes of the finance world. And like, y'all have come a long way. So
I mean,
we
we're still learning every day.
Yeah. We never quit learning, but man, y'all were just little BBs when we started.
Well, and it's just how we've changed the structure. We've gotten much more comfortable. We were trying to put too much into one episode and really trying to now take what would have been one episode back in the day and it may split into 2 or 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked about a lot of stuff recently, lots of different bigger things going on. So we kind of wanted just a little fun reality check. We are in spring, believe it or not.
Spring has sprung.
That's why I sound like this, because weather is crazy.
And I'm still dealing with the time change. That kind of rocked me.
So this is spring cleaning your finances, a little funsy.
If I'm getting this right, this episode is coming to you live, except not live, but coming to you on March the 20th, Thursday, March the 20th.
That would be correct.
Which is the day of the year in the spring when the night time equals exactly the daytime. And I think that is actually the official start date of spring.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so we are, as of today, as of the day that this is released, we are officially in spring now.
Yeah.
We have,
and I forgot how much I love the sun being up for a very long time in the evening. When the time changed, I was like, hallelujah, it is 7 p.m. and the sun is still
out.
Shining.
Because then kids can play longer after school. Like, I mean, depending on how you schedule it, you could eat dinner and then still go outside.
That's right.
Well, I like spring. Spring is one of my favorite seasons, but I do not like spring forward. I am not a fan of time change. That always messes with my clock and will continue to.
It always falls on our birthday weekend when we gain an hour.
It sure does.
Yeah. Why don't you two, so I can talk more about the finances, why don't y'all talk about spring?
As I already said, this list is fun facts about spring and the equinox. The first day of spring is also known as the Spring Equinox, which the word equinox comes from the Latin words equus, meaning equal, and nox, meaning night. But in reality, most places get a little more daylight than night due to atmospheric refraction bending the sunlight. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Court has become a scientist.
So instead of saying, oh, yeah, we get more sunlight, then it's like, oh, actually, it's, I can't even say it.
Yeah, see, it's big words.
Atmospheric refraction,
Atmospheric
bending
refraction, bending the light.
Get bent.
Yes.
And then everyone's going to look at you like, okay.
Oh, sure.
The next fact that will make you sound smart at your next dinner party is, from this point forward, each day gets longer as we head towards summer. So enjoy the extra daylight.
Yes. The longest day of summer happens about 3 months from now, and that would be the solstice?
Yeah, summer
solstice.
Which is the day is at its longest and the night is at its shortest. Warmer temperatures, duh, and increased sunlight boost serotonin levels. This is true.
Facts.
Making people feel happier and more energetic, aka spring fever, is a real thing. So I do love to say that you can say goodbye to SAD, seasonal affective disorder. You can say goodbye to SAD as we break into the longer, sunnier days of the year now.
Yep.
Yeah, that winter solstice, when 4 p.m. hits and the sun is starting to dip down, that's when the sadness really begins.
Well, as you see more people out walking, you actually get to see your neighbors for the first time in a long time, if you want to. My mom this morning, she said, you know, how are you feeling? I said, I'm still here. And she goes, well, go outside, get some sunshine. Okay.
A little vitamin D. Speaking of neighbors coming out to greet you, during this time, many animals come out of hibernation. Birds start their migration. I just saw hummingbirds. We should expect them very soon.
Yeah, I saw a map of them.
Yeah, we saw the same map. Our algorithm is lined up. It's like mid-March when hummingbirds will come through our area. So birds start their migration and flowers bloom as the earth tilts towards the sun.
Which it just makes it seem happy outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The equinox is a public holiday in Japan known as, so like I'm going to pronounce this word. I'm just going to say it, Shunbun no Hi, a day to appreciate nature and honor ancestors.
I like it.
Sounds fun. I like nature and honoring ancestors, so I'm down with that.
Yeah, if we have any Japanese listeners, feel free to chime in and tell us how to pronounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Final fact here is a popular myth says that due to gravitational shifts, you can balance an egg on its end during the equinox.
Okay, a lot of phrases that people think about with spring is also spring cleaning. And so typically it's talking about kind of get your house in order, reorganize, maybe switching your closet from your winter clothes to your spring clothes, going through and, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't fit anymore, that you want to give away to somebody else, just kind of freshening up. Visually even, it's opening the blinds, getting some sunshine in the house, you're really just kind of opening it up and getting some fresh air. Obviously, we're a financial podcast, so we're going to talk about spring cleaning your finances. So spring is a perfect time for a fresh start, not just for your home, but also your finances. Just like decluttering your closet or deep cleaning your space, your budget and financial habits should also use a seasonal refresher. Wow. Have we talked about this before?
I think so. I think maybe just within the last few episodes, we talked about budgeting for some other reason. I don't remember why, but it seems like budgeting comes up frequently. Gosh, why could that be? Could it maybe be because we're a financial podcast? I don't know.
No matter how you have to justify it, you got to take a look at your finances. You got to reevaluate. So whether you call it's part of spring cleaning, starting a new year, starting a new job, just do it.
Do it.
So declutter your budget. Take inventory of where your money is going each month. Identify unnecessary expenses, small changes that can add up over time, small charges that can add up over time as well. Use budgeting tools or apps to track spending and set new goals. And they've made it easier now. There's apps that actually can look at all your subscription services.
Right,
Now, I'm wondering, do you pay for that app to then search for it?
The one Abby and I do. You actually do, but in the long run, I guess you're supposed to save money. We talked about this in the budgeting thing. Abby and I finally went through budgeting using an app, but we also cleaned out subscriptions. It felt really good. You don't realize how many unnecessary subscriptions you have until you go through it.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, we got the kids Alexas like a year and a half ago. Apparently there was an Amazon subscription going on that we didn't know about for forever.
No.
My kids have some kind of math game that there was a subscription. I mean, we ended up saving probably $75 to $100 a month just cleaning these up.
I mean, I saw something the other day that I need to get back into finding. I'm signed up for some trial with NFL. I was trying to find a football game and I could not find it anywhere on any TV shows. I was trying to find it on my phone. So I downloaded the NFL something and it must have been a free trial. And now I noticed on my bank statement, there was a charge from NFL. And I'm like, I need to remember to find out what that is and cancel that.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many times I've paid for a single month of something either Apple News or Apple Music related because they'll give me like a 3 or a 6 month free trial and I'm like, yeah, cool. And then I sign up and I forget to cancel when this 3 or 6 months is over.
That's how they get you. They bank on you forgetting.
But thankfully, it's easier to get out of than a gym membership. That still is the hardest thing on the planet. So really think twice when you sign those gym memberships. Renew and cancel unused subscriptions. So are you still using those streaming services, those apps and memberships? Consider downgrading, pausing, or canceling what you need. And this has been a hot button for a lot of people. Cable has really kind of gone away. It used to be you paid for cable. You maybe would add on a couple of channels, but that was it. You had one bill. Now, if you really evaluate, if you're like me, Amazon Prime, you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you've got Peacock,
Paramount, Apple.
Max, which used to be HBO. Like you've got all these different streaming services. I know we had YouTube TV. That got so expensive. So we stopped YouTube TV and we switched over to Hulu TV. And now I'm frustrated because I'm like, I know I'm paying for Hulu TV. I'm paying for the extra, what's supposed to be no ads, but then there's all this crap that's on there that has ads. Like, what is this?
Yeah, probably a year or two ago that I signed up for like Peacock's Premium and it was supposed to be ad free, but we still get ads on crap all the time.
Which I get that's how they're making money, but also...
Well, then they can stop charging me the money that they're charging me because that's how they're making money too.
So, but a pet peeve of mine is there was one show I was trying to watch and I'm like, okay, it's going to have ads. It had the same 2 freaking ads.
It's the worst.
Every time. time they had an ad. Like every commercial break, it was the same too. And it was like, Mr. Greenwald or some, like, I don't even know. It was a child's voice screaming Mr. Greenwald or something.
Yeah.
We have one subscription service where it's always the Burger King ad. And
yeah.
we hear it so much. My kids know that song and they love it. Whopper, Whopper, Whopper.
Yes.
Whopper.
This was like a Burger King one, and then it was like a local commercial.
It was constant.
I had to quit watching the show because I'm like, I cannot listen to these commercials anymore. Cannot do it. You are ruining this TV show. Of course, then that goes to like we're all spoiled brats because it wasn't that long ago that we had to watch commercials. You couldn't just on demand say, I want to watch this show.
My brother has always hated ads. And back even before you had things like TiVo and you could record things and then just fast forward through the advertisements or streaming where there were no advertisements. And now the advertisements are coming back. He would just mute the TV whenever the ads came on. And it always upset me because I used to like watching the commercials. Some of them were amusing. And of course, everybody talks about the ads for something like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My brother is the type that even during the Super Bowl, when the ads come on, he mutes them. And I'm like, dude, no, everybody wants to see the Super Bowl ads. Come on. Even when I got TiVo and started recording shows and could fast forward through the commercials, sometimes I would forget and just sit and watch them if it was something new and funny.
Yeah.
You get fewer ads now, but man, they're really annoying. Hammered those same ads a few times. Like
those jingles.
Yeah, there was one that my wife and I have seen the most there was one for Tide that makes its way into our daily conversations because we tend to quote it. There was one for Land Rover or Range Rover, one of their vehicles going up a waterfall, or a couple of different cars that made it into our rotation. But that Tide ad, man, when they just hit you with it over and over and over again, it finally does become annoying. But if you hit me with enough variety of ads, then it doesn't tend to bother me that much.
Yeah, I think it's the variety. Of course, I'm right now rewatching Mad Men. So I'm very much into like the jingles and the ads and stuff like that. Because that was an art. They had to come up with like catchy little things for you to remember. And now we're so like, we want to focus on the content. We're actually probably picking up more from product placement than we are from actually ads. We can all quote old commercials and then remember things like that. Corey B. Trotz, there's so many of his commercials that we can all quote.
Well, and then of course, another ad that you're seeing a lot of right now, at least, is ads for things like TurboTax and H&R Block, which brings us back around to our topic of spring cleaning. The next one on the list is Organized for Tax Season. Now, it's March 20th.
You better have it together.
Yeah, listen, at this point, our sister firm, the Pickler Accounting Advisors, has already put out a request. Everybody have their tax information to Pickler Accounting Advisors by the 15th. So if you're listening to this on the day it's released, you're still already 5 days late. And that means that our accounting firm at least would have to file an extension for you because we needed it by the 15th to be able to get your taxes filed. If you file taxes for yourself, or if you've got another firm that has maybe a different deadline, you may still be able to get it in, but you definitely need to be getting that tax stuff organized.
Yes.
And make sure you're not missing that filing deadline that's just coming up in mid-April here. I don't remember if it's actually on the 15th this year or if it is.
April 15th is a Monday.
Okay. April 15th is a Monday. So the 15th of April, you've got to have those taxes filed if you're going to file them on time.
Excuse me. April 15th is a Tuesday.
Okay. If you're going to file them on time and pay them on time and so forth, you got to make sure you have them in on the 15th.
Yeah. And just full disclaimer, I think everybody knows this. Everybody has to pay taxes. Everybody has to file taxes. Everybody should pay taxes too. No matter how you're feeling about the government or anything right now, or anything you've heard about the IRS kind of reshuffling, reorganizing, you still need to be compliant. You need to file your taxes. No one is too young, too old, any of that stuff. Like, taxes need to be handled. Even when you die, you still have to have a final tax return.
You have to file that final return for however many months you lived in the fiscal year that you passed away. That a return has to be filed for those months for the income that you earned during those months. So yeah.
So refresh your emergency fund.
Oh yeah, I like that. Let's refresh that. How do we do that? Is there a button I can push?
Yes, you just
like refreshing your computer, right? When you hit refresh
it's
on
like
the
that
interwebs.
Button I keep wanting in my car that when I run out of gas,
refresh
I can just
the gas. Yeah,
give me some more gas.
Yeah, I need to refresh my emergency fund. That's for sure.
Have unexpected expenses drain your rainy day fund. Aim to have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. If needed, set up an automatic transfer to build it back up. So that's kind of where you look at it of, okay, if you're saving in investment accounts, saving for kids' education, do you maybe need to halt that to build back up your cushion?
What about checking your credit report and score? Are y'all good about doing that?
It's hard not to these days. If you have any sort of credit card, it seems like all the credit card companies offer
For free.
credit report updates for free. So don't pass over those emails. Look at those emails because that can give you a good insight into what's going on your credit report.
Right. Yeah. A clean credit history is key to financial health. Yeah, it's important. And review your credit report for errors or signs of fraud. That's something I don't do. I don't look at my score and look for any kind of fraud.
Right. I do. And for instance, every now and then I have to check in with the wife because there may be like a credit card that I didn't realize it's showing up on my report. It's actually one of her cards, but she gave them my social security number so that I could have a card too or something like that. So it shows up on my report even though it's her card.
That's where you get in trouble. It's like, do you have something to tell me about the credit card?
Yeah. So you got to check with each other. And then obviously if the two of you don't have any particular account open, then you could have been the victim of a fraud.
Yikes. And as always, you can improve your score by paying down debt and keeping credit utilization low.
Absolutely. Because you never know when you're going to need to use your credit score. And so it's better to be a good steward the whole time.
Okay, tidy up. Tidy up. What are we tidying up? We're tidying up debt, tidying up loans, making sure that high interest debt is being paid off first. Of course, we discourage high interest debt. We encourage paying off anything that is high interest as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And if it's a credit card, what do? We encourage you to pay that off at the end of every month. And then if you can't, for some reason, pay off that high interest debt, then certainly have a payoff plan and make sure that you are focusing on your highest interest debt first.
And if you need help, again, remember, sometimes you get buried and you've had a medical emergency, something like that. You can work with an outside partner to say, what should I pay off first? How should I attack this? Because it's just too much right now.
Interest is charged on the principal that you owe. So you might be able to make a large principal payment and pay down your principal, and then you will be charged interest on less principal, meaning that overall your payments will be lower. Definitely, if you have some extra money, then it helps to pay down on those high interest debts.
The other thing is communication. We had a scenario with someone recently who 2 people were paying on the same loan. So they were double paying for a car loan. And of course, the car company's not going to call you and say, hey, you're double paying. They're not going to call you. They're going to call you if you haven't paid.
Right.
But then that freed up money in their finances because it's like, hey, y'all don't need to be double paying for this. This was a decent interest rate. You structured it as a monthly payment. So sometimes remember communication to make sure you're not both paying the cable bill or you're not both paying the utility bill.
Okay, and then the last thing on the list, financial spring cleaning, is refresh your financial goals. Did you make a New Year's resolution that had to do with your finances? How's that working for you? 3 months in, or almost 3 months in, how's it going? Are you still on track with whatever that financial resolution was? Do you need to maybe adjust your goals? Has something come up that took you off guard you weren't expecting to have to pay? Do you need to revisit your budget? Remember, your budget is a living, breathing document.
It is, but it's just kind of like, hey, this is a gut check. So that was a real quick funds episode. Funds. That's funds with a D. We're having
funds episode.
I mean, come on. It's episode 250. We've given you a ton of content. This one really was just reiterating what a lot of our episodes have talked about.
Did you basically just ask all of our listeners to give us a pass on this one? Come on, guys. It's 250 episodes. Surely you can find something you liked.
Before we bullseye this up, I would like to see, what do y'all want to do for the next 250?
For the next 250?
Let's call it the next 50.
I mean, 250. Let's do the math real quick. 250 episodes. We do one episode per week. There are 52 weeks in a year, which means that's almost 5 years.
Okay. Are you saying you're bailing on us?
I mean, I'm just saying that's a long time. 5 more years. That's like another anniversary dinner down the road, man.
Wow.
My question, are you bailing?
I'm just saying.
I'm here. I'm not bailing. I think more guests would be cool.
I'm getting old. I might be dead.
You're not going to be dead.
Not going anywhere, but I might die.
Well, you cannot base your plan around that you're going to die in 5 years.
I wouldn't mind getting some guests back. I was actually talking to, you remember that doctor we had a little while ago? I was actually recommended to somebody the other day that they go visit him because of the unique way that he handles his patientry. And the other day I was looking on my bookshelf and I saw a book and was looking at it and couldn't barely see the title of it. So I had to like lean in because I didn't have on my glasses, and it was The Freedom Writer's Diary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Erin Gruwell.
Yeah, we need to get her back. That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely get some more guests on here because it makes it fun, and then it's exposing everybody to more people. So again, if you want to be a guest, let us know. Scheduling is always the most difficult part about guests. We'll be transparent with that. It's hard to get their schedules to match with our schedules. I want to go back a little bit more some history. I want to talk a little bit more about the more detailed stuff and explaining maybe more details about the stock market, about exchange traded funds, bonds, things like that are a lot of people are learning about in weird ways. They're finding out on TikTok, things like that. So I kind of want to give a little bit more history, some more lessons on some of the specific tools that we can utilize.
Maybe try and battle some of that misinformation that you might have been receiving, because there is a lot of that out there.
We can be like Mythbusters.
Especially on TikTok.
Yeah, our last episode about bonds was episode 7, 007. That was a long time ago.
We pretty much covered it, though. I mean,
No, but I mean, seriously, I would love to have some more listeners give us content to talk about. Because that's really, a lot of it comes from our personal experience or meetings we have.
Well, and guys, listen, if you are one of those that as soon as I start hitting the wrap up, if you just go ahead and turn it off there, you're missing some key information.
Yeah.
I'll give detailed information about where you can go to suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But then we'll get to that in just a second.
So I was going to say, for episode 250, everybody do yourself a favor and listen. Listen to what Mr. Wade has to talk about.
Now there's pressure. Now I'm going to flub it for sure. Do you want to bullseye this up, as you say?
Yeah. First off, thank you for sticking with us if you've been with us since the beginning. I've thoroughly enjoyed 250. Cam probably feels like it's been 250 episodes worth of work.
Yes.
But it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. It's helped us learn a lot. Hopefully you've learned a lot. I'm planning on doing this as long as you guys will listen and have us. But remember, as spring is here, you're wanting to be outside. We'll go sit outside, take a picnic, and take your phone, take your computer, and look at your budget, or schedule an appointment with a financial advisor just to kind of have a gut check and see how are you trending for retirement? How are you trending for your different goals? So just do a little spring cleaning on your finances.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You've made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast beamed directly to your device every single Thursday at noon o'clock. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Cameron, Katie, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there, we've got bios, and we've got a place where you can suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about, or suggest a guest, or just, drop a comment generally. But hey, I mentioned pictures. If you do like pictures, we do have an Instagram handle. That handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle, which is at Bullcast Podcast as well. Finally, we have a Facebook page. That Facebook page is Bullcast the Podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, as we are wont to do, we have mentioned that we work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you would like to find out more about Pickler Wealth Advisors, find out more about us, find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you everything you need to go forth and be clean. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.